I told my friend that I could chop a wooden ladder in half with my foot. And I tried, and the ladder smacked me in the face, and I had like blood gushing down my face.
Welcome to the official podcast of Joey Song. You know, at Joey Song, we have one mission: raise as much money as we can so that research into finding treatments and cures for epilepsy can get the funding it needs. We would love your support. If you can subscribe and leave a review of this podcast, it will help more than you could ever know. If you have a couple extra mouse clicks left in you, go to YouTube and our YouTube channel, Joey Song, and subscribe. There. In less than 2 minutes, with a couple of mouse clicks, you will have made it easier for others to find us and help spread the word. Now, if you want to do a bit more, head over to joeysong.org, consider buying a show ticket or some merch, or even making a donation. Thanks. You know, we'll beat this disease, and together we'll have some fun doing it as well. Join us. All right, let's do this. Hey, everybody, we are back. As you heard me say in the introduction, this woman that we're about to talk to is the scene stealer of Joey Song. Every time she's there and does her thing with the know-it-all girlfriend, it is that wasn't good for you people just listening, for watching, the jaw-dropping moment. She steals it every time. And this past year, she also stole it with the yellow suit you were wearing. So you not only stole it orally, you stole it visually as well. It's Sierra Swan, everybody. Yay!
Well, hello. I'm so happy to be here with you.
I am so glad to have you. I don't know. I know I say this to everybody that I do this podcast with, but you coming in, well, first of all the girls, let's roll back the Joey Song history. For the first 3 or 4 years, it was a sausage fest. There's no other way to say it, right? It was Butch, it was Duke, it was Collingwood, it was Corey. It was a bunch of guys. And then Kay Hanley came into my life and opened up this wonderful world of amazing women who have just lit Joey Song on fire and have just created so much magic. So Tanya and Gail and you and Kay and Linda Pittman and the Peterson sisters. But you've been a revelation. I don't know what else to say, because I've listened to all your stuff. I'm a Patreon subscriber, by the way. And what you do at Joey Song is another level compared to your art, at least in my mind. Talk about that.
Well, I mean, it's pure fun, over there with what you guys do. And it's actually almost like a nice playground, away from the classroom, which is where I'm at right now, my studio, and my serious artist brain, which we all have. And then Joey's Song provides this nice little like recess. I kind of see it as recess, and then you get to play with everybody else and just have a good time and relax. And I mean, I think everybody looks forward to it because it really is fun.
Yeah.
It's fun.
And it's funny that you say that, because obviously as I do my stuff during the year and I'm talking to people and they ask about the event, and I mention the fact that everybody keeps coming back. And while I'd like to think it's my magnetic personality and George Clooney-esque good looks, I know what it is you get a chance to do stuff you don't do in your day job, right? And
Exactly. And it's like, just in singing, the way the whole thing is ran, as far as like the Girls Against Boys kind of band stuff. I mean, that's just, who doesn't want to do that? That's a good time. That's just a good time. Yeah. It's a great way to connect with the other women. I love that.
Yeah,
too.
and there's such.
cool.
I just recorded yesterday with Jane Wiedlin, who's one of our new friends coming this year from the Go-Go's.
Oh, great! Oh, I'm so happy to hear that.
But when I was talking with Jane, so we were talking about the Go-Go's and the Bangles, and how at the time it felt like, okay, we're going to get all these girl groups, but not girl groups like 60s girl groups. And then there was never really, we've got tons of powerful women. We've got Aimee Mann. We've got, all of these,
Yeah.
all the Kim Gordon and all these icons. But it really kind of ended with that. And she and I spent a lot of time talking about, let's hope there's a resurgence of some of that.
Yeah,
Female.
I think one of the main problems is that everything is so pop focused and there's not a lot of grit. I just don't see enough grit. And for some reason, I don't know when it happened. I mean, we could all blame, the Britney Spears, the Justin Timberlakes of the early 2000s for kind of like putting the lid on cool as far as I'm
Yeah.
concerned. But yeah, it just kind of dissipated. I mean, as far as just really kind of wanting a different way about looking at a different way of looking at music. Yeah, that went out with the
Yeah.
90s. Like I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it's a tragedy. I mean, there's moments here and there, but it's like you really have to search.
Yeah, and
If
the other thing, and I keep referencing this in various conversations I have. I should find the source. The other thing is there's no bands anymore. Everything's collaborations. It's so and so featuring so and so, and so and so and so and so featuring so and so, and there's none of this. We hauled our gear through the clubs.
Right, right, which it really provides you with the grit and also provides for a lot of great storytelling, and just life.
Yeah.
It's like, and yeah, it's not like that as much anymore. I mean, it still kind of exists, but it's not like it used to
Yeah.
be. I don't think.
It doesn't feel like those people are the ones that make it to the United Center or the Target set. There are surely
Right.
there are bands both young and old out there still slogging around the clubs, but it just,
Yeah.
with record labels going away, and there's some good with that. We could spend a
Yeah.
long time talking about that too, but it's just there's not that incubator like there used to be.
No, well, and there's not the experience of years and years of doing it and then kind of, getting your
Yeah.
stripe. It's just kind of, yeah, it's just a very different scene. I mean, because there's just no money in, I mean, there's more money actually playing live, but not a
Yeah.
lot. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah, the whole
it's
the whole
really
the
tough.
whole business model flipped, right? In the 70s and
Yeah.
80s, you toured to sell records, and you had a label that would
Mhm.
pay for your touring because that's where the money was.
Yeah.
Now it's flipped. I mean, now you tour and
Yeah.
it's always hey, I'll be back at the merch table to sign CDs and stuff, and
Yeah.
you hope to augment completely on its head.
Yeah. It's a hustle. It's a real hustle. I mean, I would love to be in a band just for the
Right.
camaraderie of it, but it's so expensive and no one makes enough money. And it's like, so yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it does come down to that. And also it's just, I wish people would start paying for
Yes.
music. It's not okay anymore. I wake up a lot every day and I'm like, maybe today's the day I take my shit off
Yep.
Spotify because I'm like, wait, why are we doing this? Like, I really suffer with it because I've got like a lot of albums and a lot of EPs on there, and I'm just like, I get that's how people listen to it, but it's total theft. Like,
Absolutely, it is. There's 48
yeah,
other people making more money off of your art than you are.
yeah, and that goes along with the great tradition of the music business. But it's just like, when is it going to get in? And it's like, when is it going to get in the artist's pocket? It's just like I think fewer and fewer people can really do it because you have to have quite a bit of stamina to stay in the game. It's just a tough
Yeah.
one. I mean, you gotta love it. I love it. I mean, it's my medicine. There's no way I can not be a musician. It's just the only thing that makes me want to even stick around this crazy
Yep.
place. And so, thank God for that. But it would be nice if you could make some money doing what you love once in a while. It's
That
tough.
would be that would help. Well, you
Yeah.
gave me, as usual, played the great straight man to my bit here because you go back to you want that camaraderie, and I feel like that is one of the kind of the plus signs for Joey's song for you guys is you get to
Yeah.
form
Oh
these
yeah.
little impromptu. You're not going on the road for 3 months, but you are doing it for a couple hours, and you get to
Yeah.
sing and dance and do all that stuff.
Oh yeah, it's super
Yeah.
fun. I love it. It's great.
So, for people that are not familiar with you, I want to first talk about your dad because
Yeah, of
he
course.
has, I think, so first of all, I didn't do all of my research. So, that Rhino Records put out a 70s kind of retrospective thing, like it's a 30 CD thing, and I'm pretty sure I Can Help is on there. So I do think I have
Probably.
I Can Help back there. But your dad, I mean, Clyde McPhatter and Conway Twitty and Mel Tillis, I
Yeah.
mean, Kris Kristofferson, he played, wrote, and his real forte, though, was as a songwriter as much as it was as a musician.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize this, but that first hit with Lover Please that Clyde McPhatter did, he wrote that when he was 16 years old. So he got in the game real early. And he was just my dad's like the type of guy that everybody loves him. So he just knows how to talk to basically everyone. And that's kind of one of his gifts, other than being a great songwriter and kind of wordsmith. Um, and so once he got that, hit with Lover Please, he obviously was like, well, this is obviously what I'm going to do with my life. And he just, he has kind of a tragic, sad backstory. His parents died when he was really young. He was kind of like orphaned to his sister who already had kids. He lost an eye when he was like 13 from, it's just like he just one thing after another with my dad. And then I think, he really became like a poet, like a poet, like poetry kind of got him through it. And then he started learning guitar, came the songwriter. But after that hit with Lover Please, he just got in a car, and, went to Nashville and decided, well, clearly that's what I should do. And that's when, he met all the wild characters like Kris Kristofferson and actually, why am I blanking on his name? This is awful because I have a tattoo right here that he drew. The Giving Tree. So he met Shel Silverstein. Shel Silverstein, people don't realize before, he was an author, he was a songwriter. And so my dad was hanging out with Shel, he was hanging out with Kris, he was hanging out with all the John Prines and all those type of characters. And they were all, no one knew who they were at that time, but they just got lucky in that beautiful time in music where you could be that guy and write songs and get signed to a publishing deal and do quite well. And all of them really started out as writers for other artists. It really wasn't until later that they honed in their own craft and became, artists themselves.
And a lot of that, right? I mean, Willie started out writing for other people, right? He wrote for Patsy and all that stuff. And that was that for me, and I'm not a historian on Nashville at that time, but it feels very similar to the Motown vibe that was going on in the 60s.
Totally.
Everybody was playing on each other's songs and recording each other's songs, and there was just a communal vibe that
Totally. That was incredible. Somewhere I have a link to it somewhere, but my dad was with Kris when Kris Kristofferson wrote Me and Bobby McGee. He played it for my dad, like in their apartment. And my dad was like, that's a really good song. He's like, we need to go to the studio right now and record it. And so they went to the studio, because they were both on Columbine, I think, as the publishers. Anyway, they went to a studio that night. My dad says they were there from probably 7 p.m. to the wee hours of the morning. And that demo is somewhere online and it's incredible. It's really kind of haunting. My dad's singing like the background vocals and doing like this 2-chord progression thing on the organ. And it's like, it's the first recording of Me and Bobby McGee. And it's incredible. It's somewhere out there. If it's really neat. Yeah, but that was the scene. Like that's what was going on. Yeah.
And your dad has to be pretty likable because there's some strong personalities on that list too,
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, like I said, when I was a kid, Harry Dean Stanton would be coming around and all types of interesting Sean Penn, taking my dad's car to go get beer. I mean, it was always kind of like but it was because my dad was just the type of guy that accepted all kinds of characters. And he's real chill, but I mean, my dad's got a different side of him. I'm sure I don't know because I'm his daughter. I'm sure he doesn't share a ton with me, but mainly he's like a Buddha. My dad has a real Buddha vibe,
and he's still doing well.
He's doing okay. He's getting up there. My sister now lives in Nashville, kind of keeping, an eye on him. And but he's 83 now and he's still writing music. He's on his, I think maybe today or tomorrow he's on his way to Memphis to mix his record. He's still making music. Like the man is he's not going to sit down for so long.
Well, if you got all you artists are the same. It's got to come out. If it doesn't, it builds up and it comes out your ears, and that doesn't do anybody any good,
Exactly.
right?
No, no, it doesn't. It does not.
Well, I had to talk to you
No.
a little bit about your dad because the
No, of
names
course.
on that list that he's worked with are, Mount
I
Rushmore
know.
worthy and
I
fascinating. But now I would like to talk about you because you've got your own list of folks. First of all, you will find out when we do this or that my entire world revolves around the Beatles, and I see Ringo on the list of folks that you've worked with. Tell me a
Yeah.
story.
I I got lucky enough to do that. So I was in a kind of a band with Dave
Yep.
Stewart. And Dave Stewart put together like all these people to kind of he wanted to do a tour where he approached all his hits. And I sang most of the Sweet Dreams ones because I had
Yeah.
more of the Any
Yeah.
Lennox
Yeah.
vibe. Anyway, so we were doing shows and Ringo's a very close friend of
Oh, yeah.
Dave. And so I think he went to one of the shows and he had just finished an album and I think that Dave kind of helped him with and he wanted to do, just a promotion tour. And Dave, I think, was like, "Well, you should just use my band. Like, they're great." And Ringo was like, "I would love that." So I got that job. Like, it was like magical. I didn't even have to do much. It was just more like Ringo was like, "I approve of all these people. Just
Yeah.
come along with me." And it was so fun. I mean, of course, you're touring with Ringo Starr, so everything is like everything. I mean, everything's first class. So that's never bad.
No.
Um, and yeah, we went all over the place. We were in all, some places, key places in the United States. And then we went to London and did all that kind of stuff. We went to Liverpool. We went to Liverpool and played a big show there. And that was incredible. And he's a lovely guy because, it was just amazing to get to know him and hang out with him backstage before the shows. And he was just a normal guy. And really, I also fell in love with him and his wife. They have the most beautiful relationship. Like, he just thinks she's a queen, and it's the sweetest dynamic between a man and a woman, those 2. It's just incredible.
It makes me happy to hear that. I've never heard a bad thing about Ringo. And
No, he's a solid
yeah.
guy.
So the backstage and green room scene on a Ringo tour, there had to have been some amazing folks at some point.
Well, you know what? You'd be surprised. I mean, he kept it kind of
Did he? Yep.
private.
See,
Yeah,
yeah,
he kept it more private, Dave Stewart is more the guy who, like, likes to bring, like, the glitz and the glam around, like, we'd be sitting in rehearsal and he'd put Bono on, like, he just called Bono,
sure.
and he'd just, like, have Bono on speaker, and just I was like, "Oh my god," you know? Dave's funny. He's a funny character. He's like an eternal
Yeah,
teenager.
which again, we need more of that in the world these days too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now that you say that though about Ringo and backstage doesn't surprise me. Every once in a while I get to do my own version of name dropping. One of our Joey song artists is Brian Ray, who plays guitar for McCartney. He's Paul's guitar player,
Right. Oh,
the
that's right.
blonde guy on the
Yes.
side. And Brian has done Joey song benefits before. We got to get him back. But the backstage, I never got to meet Paul, but he got
Right.
Sam and I backstage, and it was very low key. I guess
Yeah.
when you're part of the greatest band that's ever existed,
Yeah, you want things to be small.
yeah, because everybody wants a
Small.
piece of you, and
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
don't have any pieces left for people to take.
Yeah, but they do stick with like when we were out with Ringo, he kept us we were all in the same van, we were all always traveling together, which I loved. I think in a lot of the tours I've been with, like if it's a bigger artist, they don't like to necessarily be away from the band. They like to be around the band because that you kind of have to develop a good chemistry on stage. So in order to do that, you have to be like a club, a little club, you know.
Yeah, which makes sense. Getting back to what we talked about earlier, there's something about that band camaraderie thing that is as fulfilling as the artistry part of it, and
Oh yeah.
I would even if you're frickin' Ringo, I would think that that's important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I get it because doing most things on my own, it is
Yeah,
lonely. So it is nice to have a group of people
yeah.
to work with.
There's 2 other people, although there's 10 others on this list that I want to talk to you about, though. Linda Perry, who I am also a huge fan of, and she produced 2 of your records or an EP? And
She was with me quite a bit. I was signed on Atlantic, and she wanted to work with me. At that when I was on Atlantic, I wanted to have different producers on one record. Like I had Chad Hugo from the Neptunes, I had Linda Perry, Howard Benson. I produced some stuff, Ann Previn, Scott Cutler. I wanted it to be a mix of producers, but I got dropped, and Linda was such a fan of what my vibe was that she actually called Jimmy Iovine and got me a deal with Interscope on her label at the time, which was called Custard. So, and she obviously was a gigantic producer at the time. So it was just kind of like, well, whatever Linda Perry wants, she gets. And so I got the deal because of her. And then she produced um Ladyland with she produced half of Ladyland, and Bill Bottrell produced the other half. She wanted to bring him in because I kind of am a type of artist that I can do a lot of things on my own. I'm also a producer. So she kind of sensed that, and she just thought and she was 100% right. Bill Bottrell produced her first record and really kind of nurtured her as a producer. So she thought he would do the same thing for me, and that was 100% right. And so it was a really incredible experience working with one day Linda and then the other day Bill Bottrell. It was just like, it was so fun.
You'd need to build a separate wing of your house to hold all their Grammys and awards between those two.
I know.
Between Billy and Linda.
I know. I know.
And then the last one, I already mentioned her, but I'm such a huge fan, is Aimee Mann, who.
Yeah, that was like, talk about something that I didn't think was going to ever happen. I had a I had a song that Linda loved the verse. She was like, that verse is great. I had a really weird chorus. I will even admit it wasn't right. And her and I just went back and forth, and we just couldn't get this chorus. And then she was like, you know what? We should just call Aimee Mann. And I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, that's not a thing. She goes, well, let me see what I can do. I was like, at that time, I was a huge Aimee Mann fan. I mean, I appreciated her so much. And I couldn't believe it, but she agreed to help co-write the song. And so she just took the verse, and then a couple days later, and I think we met first and whatever, we met obviously first, and it was amazing. And then she took the song and then came back a couple days later and played it, and Linda and I were like, perfect. And that's when Linda was like, well, she has to sing on it. I was like, well, I would love that. I don't know if she will. And she agreed to sing on it. And we brought her band in because we wanted to give that Aimee Mann stamp. And so her band did the song, uh, played, obviously, was the official band for that particular song. And then after, we became pretty good friends. Like, she invited me over to her house. I met her husband, Michael Penn, who's a sweetheart. Um, went to Al-Anon meetings together. So, I mean, she's a lovely person. It's like,
she is.
amazing.
I'm a huge fan, like fanboy kind of thing, kind of stuff. And I've got all these people that are peripherally around her, right? Because she was on Freedy's last record, and she is obviously a collaborator with Ted Leo, who was just on tour with your friend and mine, Gail Greenwood, in Gang of Four.
Wait, that's crazy. Wow, that's crazy.
And I'm like, all right, somehow I got to figure, all you people with connections, we got to get to her, because
I know.
I would embarrass myself in front of her. I'm ready to admit it. So,
yeah. Well, she's an incredible person. She's an incredible artist. She's just an incredible artist. She really is.
She hasn't taken a misstep as far as I'm concerned, and she's awesome.
No.
All right,
I just also love how she sings. She can just barely open her mouth, and like, it's great.
Well, and and I don't even know how to describe, because I'm not a musician, but when I think of songs like I Should Have Known, and that there's a melodicism to it, even with the grit. I should have known.
Yeah.
And just like I said, she can't take a misstep as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, she's very subtle. She's subtle, but it's has a lot behind it.
She's great. Well, between you and your dad, unless you were recording with the Rolling Stones or Mozart, you've pretty much covered all of my heroes. So the Swan family is deep in the Mike Gomoll psyche. So Thank you.
Oh, I love
Thank
that.
you. All right, we are going to take a break. We're going to come back now. Speaking of psyche, and we're going to deep dig into Sierra's psyche, and we're going to do our this or that, and we're going to do our underrated or overrated. So stick around. We'll be right back with the Joey Song Podcast and Sierra Swan. All right, we are back with Sierra. That break took a little bit longer than usual because I made her also tell me Frank Black stories and other things as well.
Oh, that's actually a really good story.
Yeah, I'm afraid it would be. That's the problem.
Yeah, that happened because of my dad, but that's whatever.
Wait. Okay, now we got to do it.
It's really actually a funny story. I mean, I should tell it.
Tell me your dad was a big Pixies fan or something.
No, so my dad has done this. Me and my sister, my sister's name is Planet Swan, by the way. That is her name. Me and my sister are always in awe of my dad for this particular reason because, obviously you always think your parent is a dork or not cool.
Oh, believe me.
And even though he's Billy Swan, we always use, God, dad's such a dork, whatever. But he does stuff like this that floors us. So I flew into Nashville to visit him, and my sister was in Nashville too, visiting him. Funny story is, before the night I flew into Nashville, I had maybe too much to drink. I'm just going to be honest about it. And I told my friend that I could chop a wooden ladder in half with my foot. And I tried, and the ladder smacked me in the face, and I had like blood gushing down my face. Didn't go to the hospital, didn't get stitches, whatever. So I show up at the airport with like a black eye, and my dad picks me up and he's like, what's wrong with you? And I was just like, just don't worry about it, Dad, whatever. He goes, well, I can't believe you look like that right now because I actually have a job for you girls. I'm like, what's the job? And he goes, well, I want you to sing on a friend of mine's album. And me and my sister immediately are rolling our eyes. We're just like, oh God, we don't want to do that. You know what I mean? Like, Dad, please don't. Did you already tell him we would do it? And he goes, yeah, we're going to head over to the studio right now. And I was like, Dad, okay. And then I go, and then so we're like, well, who is it? Who is it? And he's like, Frank Black. And my sister and I are like, of the Pixies? We're like, of the Pixies, Dad? And he goes, yeah. And I'm like, we just couldn't understand how that was possible. And apparently he knew the producer and they really needed some background vocals. And so we went to the studio, me and my sister, and sang on his solo album. And my sister and I looking at each other going, I can't fucking believe this.
Yeah.
I can't fucking believe this. Dad is like the weirdest, coolest guy in the world. It's like, this is just beyond.
You would have a hard time drawing the line from Mel Tillis to Black Francis.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, how do you even do that?
I know.
I guess your dad is that line. I guess we've answered that riddle, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's random things. I remember I'm friends with Jesse from Eagles of Death Metal, and he told my sister that when Eagles of Death Metal first started, and Josh Homme, I think, was the drummer, or he was in the band or something. They used to listen. He's like, we used to listen to Billy Swan records before the show, and I was like, what?
No.
So yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah,
that's amazing. Oh.
I know. So me and my sister call him the Forrest Gump of music.
Great thing. Yeah. He's playing ping pong with the Russians or whatever.
There's also a video of Paul McCartney talking about, the question is, it's a BBC interview, and the question is like, what was the last interaction you had with John before he died, and like, what was the friendship like? And he goes, Paul McCartney says this in the interview. Well, we just basically mainly focused on talking about music. He's like, I remember John came over. He was obsessed with this I Can Help, Billy Swan. He goes, yeah. He goes, John Lennon was just like, he was like going through the stations trying to find this song. And he's like, it was stuff like that. And I was just like, Dad, what? So he's the Forrest Gump of music.
Yeah. Your dad now has a lifelong past to be a dork to you and your sister.
Yeah,
all that stuff. I mean, there's some connective tissue that's freaky.
Yeah, it is freaky.
So again, Sierra, I need to have you on all the time because you are the perfect lead into our first this or that. Beatles or Stones?
Beatles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
I am a melody slut. Okay? I want melody. I want melody coming out of my ears, out of my eyes, out of my nose, out of my mouth. And that's what the Beatles give you is melody on top of melody. And I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be a runaway winner when we total all these up after all the podcasts.
Yeah.
There have been a couple Stones. Hugo Burnham from Gang of Four said Stones, but because of Charlie, because he's a big
Right.
Charlie fan.
Fair.
But so
That's fair.
yeah, I'll give that to you as well. All right, Seinfeld or Friends?
This is a hard one. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and say Friends. I don't know what it is, but I also like a lot of characters, and there's so
Yep.
many. I love I'm just gonna go with Friends, and me and my daughter watch it together. It's something we watch
yeah.
together. Yeah.
So there's an ensemble thing to it that
I like ensembles, yes.
Yep. I don't want to do that one. Superpower, would you rather be invisible or read minds?
Invisible or read minds. I feel like I already read minds, so I like invisible. Yeah, I'll take invisible.
Just because then you can see, because you already got the first superpower, so
Yeah.
you don't need the second one.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I love this question. Time travel, would you go to the past or to the future?
Oh, that's so good. I think I'd probably go to the past. Yeah, the future is kind of freaking me out a little bit, so I don't wanna know.
That is exactly what Jane Wiedlin said yesterday, word for word.
Well, then her and I are kindred spirits.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. All right. And the last one in our this or that, are you always early or fashionably late?
Always early.
God, me too.
Always early. Like, I try and be late, and I'm right on time.
Yeah. Well,
I don't even know how to be late. It's
I
not a
texted
thing.
you 15 minutes today before we were about to start, and you were already in the chat room. So
Yeah, I was already ready to go. Yeah. Always early.
all right. We are going to take a break. That's this or that. We'll be right back with overrated or underrated with Sierra Swan. And who knows what stories I'm going to come up with during the break on this. Thank goodness we had the Frank Black discussion. We'll be right back.
I know.
All right, we are back with Sierra Swan, and we are going to go through overrated and underrated. I don't think we dug deep enough into her psyche on the this or that, so now we got to go underrated or overrated. First one, this I start everyone off with this: 8 hours of sleep, overrated or underrated?
I'm the worst sleeper, so underrated for me because I don't know how to sleep. Underrated.
Yep. Same. Yeah. Are you one of these people that if you wake up, your mind's
Yeah.
going 100 miles an hour?
It's never stops.
Yeah. The worst thing for me, not to get into the too much information category, but as you age, you have to get up during the night. Is if I can sleep through the night, I'm fine. But it's that waking up and then going, oh, and then I've got to do the thing, and then I've got the thing, and
Yeah, it gets worse. Yeah, as you get older, it just gets worse. It's great.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yep. High-end coffee, overrated or underrated?
Overrated because I don't drink coffee.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I'm a green tea type of gal.
Yep. All right, that's fair. That. Well, do you do fancy? Because I'm also a tea drinker. I'm trying to find where my tea, and I just do like Tetley or the shelf stuff. Are you a fancy tea drinker?
I'm a fancy tea drinker. I have a whole seeping. I like to brew. I do a whole thing with herbs and all the things.
For you, it's probably much healthier too. So
yeah, it's fun.
Vintage guitars, overrated or underrated?
Oh, underrated. They're so important. Yeah. No, they're not. There's nothing like holding, an instrument that has been through a lot. I like that feeling.
Yep. The history, the heritage, the fly on the wall. Yep.
My guitar here is my dad's 69 Telecaster, and it's my favorite. I have other guitars, but I don't really play at them as much as I play that one.
Yeah, I was going to, one of the ones in the over-under I was going to ask is Fender or Gibson, but I'm assuming that means the answer is Fender, right?
Fender. Yeah, it is. It is.
I thought so. All right, last one. And again, this is what I end everyone on. I've got some amazing answers to this. Making your bed every morning, underrated or overrated?
Underrated. I do it every morning. I can't even start the day without my bed being made.
There must be something in the musical waters because
Yeah,
so
it's
far,
just the
everybody has
OCD. There's an OCD things, like, things have to that's why my studio is the only place that's allowed to be a little, like, ratty. Everything else in my house is, like, has to be clean and perfect.
has to be clean. That's perfect. That was
Yeah.
so far I've done you're my 10th or 11th of the Joey song artists, and not one person has said overrated. Everybody said it's
Really?
underrated. Yep. Yep.
Wow,
So
we are very much alike.
that's the reason why when we all get together in January, everybody has a good time. There's
Everybody has fun.
on the important things, we're all
Yeah,
in sync.
totally,
So all right,
totally.
we are going to take one more break. We're going to come back and close with Sierra Swan. So stick around. We'll be right back. All right, so we are back, and unfortunately, like all of these, they end way too soon. But there's a couple things I want to do. I mentioned earlier that I am a Patreon subscriber to Sierra's Patreon page.
Substack.
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 That's what it is.
Substack.
Substack.
It's
That's
okay.
right.
It's like all the same thing.
It's
It's like
Substack.
all
So tell people, yeah. So since we've all agreed we're all going to get off of Spotify, where can people find you on Substack?
Well, it's Substack Sierra Swan Music, and I've been really enjoying it. To be honest, I didn't know much about it, but my friend Billy Corgan called me one day, and he was like, "You need to do Substack. I feel like you do a good job." And I was like, "What is it?" Because when you first go into Substack, you're like, "What is this?" And then you realize, like, "Oh my god, I can curate my own world." Like, and I have so much old photos, old songs, old videos. I was like, "This is perfect for me." And so, yeah, I go on there. If you're a paid subscriber, you get free music. You get 2 tracks a month, and that is not on Spotify. None of these tracks are on Spotify. So, it's really special. You're also supporting independent artists like myself that, we struggle, and it's a great way to, for us to give you content and have that exchange. So yeah, Substack, Sierra Swan Music, and free music for paid subscribers.
And as I said, I am one of those, even though I don't know the difference between
You
Patreon and
are. Thank you,
Substack.
Mike.
But you should all be, because if you only, so I'm going to turn this into a little Sierra Swan commercial. If you only know Sierra from Joey's song, and there might be some of you that know that and know the, you know, come on, feel the noise voice,
Mhm. Mhm.
there's a lot more to this woman than that. And
Oh,
it's peeling an onion, folks. And there's some
thank
really
you.
great stuff. So you should take the time to do that, which is again a lead into Joey's song, January 9 and 10 in Madison. Sierra will be there as usual. Take a couple minutes and talk about, we've kind of hinted at it, right? It's the camaraderie, it's the fellowship, it's the fun, but talk a little bit about Joey's song and your involvement in it.
Yeah, I mean, Joey's song is a beautiful charity that, obviously you spearheaded, and it's just an opportunity to gather a lot of creative people together that don't usually come together. So it's special. It's super special. And you get to see just musicians actually genuinely having a good time on stage together and not taking things so seriously. Obviously, we take it seriously, but it's like having a good time. I mean, the backstage area is like, you should probably have cameras back there because I
Or
almost
maybe not.
I almost think you should do cameras back there and, like, have people get to watch it on the screens because there's a lot of fun that goes on backstage. Um, it's just like a summer camp. I feel like that's what it is. I feel like every time I'm there, it's just like I feel like I'm at camp. It's so fun, and everybody's so genuinely kind, and I'm always in awe of you, of
Oh,
course. You are just, like, magical because I know how many things you're dealing with at once. I know the stress that you're going through. And so, I mean, you're the wizard, when we're all there, you're the Wizard of Oz. And it's incredible. It's just a great experience. And in a business that, it's hard to really connect with other artists. I mean, I've met so many people that I not only admire, but now are my friends.
yeah, it's
And
crazy.
that is
Yeah.
really cool, you
Yeah,
know?
I have to be honest. Besides the good that we do with it, one of my great pleasures in a world where there's not a lot of great pleasures on social media is scrolling through and seeing so and so sat in with so and so at the
Right.
show, and
Yeah.
it's like, and I know who was friends before Joey's song and who was
Yeah,
afterwards.
yeah.
And
Oh yeah, no, Gail. I talked to Gail. I talked to all the girls. You know,
yeah,
it's like we totally and there's also a lot of support. Everybody's so supportive.
yeah,
You know, which is we need so much more of that in this
yeah.
music business that we're in, and because that's really where it's all about relationships. You know.
It is. And I think that supportive word is an important one because it's a how do I say this? I have literally no musical talent whatsoever. I can screw up a hand clap, but um, it's amazing to watch the generosity that you guys have towards each other as well. I mean, it's we need somebody literally to do hand claps or to play the
Yeah, if someone
triangle.
jumps in.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And the joy, especially when we get some of our, I don't want to say elder statesmen, but I think about Jody and the Big Star set. And when
Ugh,
he did September Girls, everybody came running out to see
yeah.
vocals on it.
It was
Right.
amazing. That was amazing. That
Yeah.
was so cool. That
Yeah.
was so
So
cool.
I do, I'll take a little modicum of happiness out of that as well. Because,
You should own that because
yeah.
that's of your own design.
Yeah. Well, it's because you guys always say yes. So, all right, Sierra Swan, I have a crush on you that I can't even begin to articulate, and I'm saying it in
Oh,
public, and I'm going to say it for the whole world to hear. My wife's upstairs. I'll even
oh,
tell
I
her.
love you. Oh, I love you so much, Mike.
All right, we will close up now, and we will start pushing out the information on Joey's song in about a month or so. And just to give you a little behind the scenes, and then there will be texts and emails every other day working through set lists and stuff. I've got to figure out a way for people to be able to see that because what you
Yeah.
guys all do is magical too. So
Yeah. Well, it's all because of you, Mike.
you're sweet. All right, Sierra Swan, thank you so much.
Oh, no, thank you.
Hey, thanks for sticking around all the way to the end of the podcast. Quick reminder, if you can give us a follow or subscribe on your favorite podcast provider and write a short review, it will really help us out. If you can head over to YouTube and subscribe to our channel over there, that's another big help. These simple acts make it easier for others to find us. And of course, head over to joeysong.org to join our community and stay up to date on all the news. Thanks, and we'll talk again real soon.
Learn more about Joey's Song by visiting joeysong.org. The theme music was composed by Sam Gomoll, and Joey's Song is a federally registered 501c3 charity. Thanks for listening.